4 billionaires just died in a helicopter crash and nobody's talking about it. And immediately after, Biden posts a very cryptic message. Let's talk about it. The CEO of one of the largest banks in Nigeria, along with his wife and son, 2 pilots, and a person from the Nigerian Stock Exchange, a very prominent chair of NGX Group, they all died. And if you don't know, Nigeria is going through a big power struggle right now. And the fact that this is happening on American soil, they were on their way to the Super Bowl, raises a lot of questions. And the media is not discussing this. And if you remember, Kobe Bryant, right, died in a helicopter crash. There was wall-to-wall coverage. Now, a lot of people are saying that they're hush-hush about this. People are bringing up conspiracies and various things. So let's discuss how each of the audiences that I've mentioned before should be able to take this away. And now let me mention real quick that shortly after this, Biden, and again, I'm talking to audience 2, audience 1, Biden says with this creepy red-eyed post, just like we drew it up, 204 million, a lot of people commenting on it. This is on his official account. This is his personal account, and there's a POTUS account, but this is not a parody account, right? And so this happens immediately after, and somebody, a foreign dignitary, or I don't even want to say that, but somebody from outside the country that's very prominent just died in a helicopter crash on your land. And people are talking about the Super Bowl, they're talking about all these other things, and nobody's talking about this, right? And so let's break down how you want to be able to take this news. I have previously introduced this idea that all of what's going on right now, whether you believe in conspiracy or just various things, there's a target audience, and there's 3 different groups: the normalized group, the awakened group, and the enlightened group. People that are looking at this news are taking this news sort of at face value, right? So they're looking at this as a God versus Satan thing. We're looking at it as either conspiracy. It could be conspiracy. It could be, or rather, why are they not covering it? If they aren't, then is there some kind of conspiracy behind it? And, believing information versus misinformation. So right now, people are just trying to digest it in this category. The second category is that they're thinking deeper. They're thinking, okay, is this a left-wing woke liberal? Is this a right-wing conservative? And they're asking deeper questions, right? And the third, which is a lot of you guys, is the idea that we're watching a movie. We talked about the Q operation, we talked about actors, intro casting, law of war manual, and there's layered things. There's collateral damage. There are casualties of war, and there are deeper things for which you need to ask yourself. And so some of the questions, some of the ways you want to look at this that's happening is, why is there a lack of news coverage? So a lot of people are waking up saying, oh, wait a minute, these are prominent people. Why is it that there's no coverage? Is it some kind of racial issue, ethical issue, a country thing? What happened to the helicopter? So they're asking questions from the idea that this crash happened. We take it as fact that these people died, and something has to be done to investigate this and bring more news coverage. So this is awakening people in this layer. The second layer, or the second audience, is the fact that you're thinking deeper, right? So you have a power play going on within the financial realm. You have things within the banking sector. You have billionaires, all these different things. You can look this up, and the culture, what's happening in Nigeria. But was this an assassination attempt, right? Scare tactic for others, submission, and just these different things. Global order, a ritual, a sacrifice, a struggle for power. So even in this layer, people are asking the question from a spiritual perspective: is this a sacrifice, given what I've talked about before in my previous video, as well as other videos about the Super Bowl and about what they're trying to do ritualistically? People died with a lot of money, and their lineage has basically been cut off. Where does this money go, right? So these are the critical thinking questions that you ask in this layer. The third layer are the people that are more enlightened. And what I mean by that is you're asking, I don't want to say conspiracy level questions, but a layered analysis. The first question you could ask is, are they really dead? Are they, passing off as being passed away or gone, but really they're alive and they faked their death, right? So, this sounds ridiculous, but these are the first level questions you ask, because you don't just take things, again, at face value. You don't just believe things. This is how a lot of the Anons are taught to disseminate and to consume information. And then Is it a white hat operation? If it was an operation, a military thing, a sting operation, whatever it is it a black hat thing? Is it just collateral damage? Like, what's really going on? Is it a casualty of war? Or is it just something more than that, right? So they pass a test, they didn't pass a test, they didn't submit to the order, and then this was the consequence. So these are the questions you need to ask yourself. And this is what's happening. And I brought this example up because it's significant in the sense of the overall war we are in, but also it's an example of how you take in certain news, because a lot of people are new to this and a lot of people are still stuck in audience 1, audience 2. But as you wake up, you begin to ask these critical thinking questions so that it leads you down a path of research. And I'm not saying you should just believe any wacky conspiracy, but we are waking up, we're asking questions, and we're thinking, is there more to what's being shown? You're watching a movie in some sense. Some things are fake. Some things are acted, scripted, if you want to say, if you want to talk about the NFL and all these different things. But at the same time, what's really going on, right? You don't just say these things and these people pass away and there's minimal coverage. Why is it that they're not covering this? Nigeria, they're mourning apparently, and a lot of things are happening, but there's still certain things from a global order perspective that people are waking up to. Do some research, stay prayed up, and as we digest information, we have to keep this in mind because, again, God is calling us. Many of us, Christians, trying to understand geopolitics, the world, the news, current events, end times, eschatology, whatever it is, we're looking at this from a higher, a bigger, a deeper, a unbiased perspective, where we are trying to put on the mind of Christ, not the mind of Western bias, not the mind of whatever it is that we're looking at, the purview of the world based on preconceived notions, cultural norms, and all these different things. Wanted to encourage you guys with this. If you guys want to support me, I'm trying to reach my goal in the GoFundMe page for my gift packaging business and just various other work that's happening. I really need your support. I would really love it. Love you guys. More to come. Subscribe, like this video. I've been asking people, they're shadow banning me. Something's happening. I need to get this out. If you enjoy this content, please comment, please like, and subscribe if you are new to this channel. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.